Hey y'all, it's Donna. I want to talk about this one more time. Well, I talked about it already. I broke down the video. I'm sure everybody's seen the video where they're fighting, Hilary Crowder and his wife. But then I privated the video because I completely misunderstood their fight. I didn't realize they were talking about in that exact moment him wanting her to put on gloves. Anyway, I thought it was like a metaphor. Like she doesn't fight for their marriage and she just walks out and gives up. So I think everybody has seen this video. So I don't need to go through the video. I just want to give a few brief thoughts on it. And as we've come to find out, it's been edited, obviously to make them look as terrible as possible or whatever. It's a little snippet of a fight that we don't understand how it started or, what happened after or what led up to this. I think every couple has had terrible fights to where if you got video footage of it, it would look really bad. You say things that you don't mean when you're angry and all of that. Everybody knows all that. And I think everybody can agree that he was belittling. The way he's talking to her is not how anyone wants to be talked to. So the question is, does he treat her like this all the time? Is he always talking to her like this, like she's a child? And do this now. Put on the gloves, do this now. Or was this something that was a bullying point? She just will not do anything he asks of her to the point where he's throwing a fit like this and talking to her, in a way that's disrespectful. By the way, why are the ashes so long on the cigar? Is that what I'm seeing here? Anyway, so back to my 2 points. This is how he talks to her all the time or doesn't. And so, everybody is trying to figure out whose fault it is. I think it's most likely both of their faults. That's usually how it goes. She's trying to act like it was all him. He's trying to act like it was all her, but she filed for divorce. So you can say he bought a house and he hired a lawyer and all this, but you filed for a divorce. He may have been doing that preemptively because you were telling him you were leaving him. You know what I mean? So it's no one in particular's fault, except for the person who refused to go to therapy, I think. The person who went and filed for divorce. Because even if he's refusing, even if he talks to you like this all the time, and he's refusing to adjust and go to therapy and whatnot, you can separate. Now, if he talks to her like this all the time, that is terrible because it probably means that no matter how much she does, no matter how busy she is during the day, taking care of things at home and whatnot, he might be that type of guy that comes home and is looks for the one or two things that aren't done instead of, saying thank you for the things that are done. And that always makes it really difficult and tense because you don't feel appreciated, you don't feel valued, you don't feel loved. And so in his perspective, he's not feeling loved and appreciated because she's not doing what he asks of her. And so it could also be that. We don't know which it is. We don't know if she's just never doing anything and he's like, damn it, you can't even give the dog medicine. What the hell? Why can't you do anything I ask you? Now, last time I talked about Ephesians and how the wife is to submit to her husband. Denise, I forget her name. It's a channel I watch. I'll link it. But she was talking about how, that Ephesians verse and how, the man is to love his wife as Christ loved the church. But also, she put it in an analogy that I've never heard. The man is the head and the woman is the body. So he loves her as if he loves, in a way that he loves his own body. So that makes sense. You're one. You become one when you come together through marriage. And that's how this works so well. It's so cohesive, and you can submit to him and take his direction because he loves you like he loves his own body. Now, this is where the side of the manosphere, the red pill, fresh and fit, who happens to be the only ones defending Steven Crowder, which is really a bad look. But this is where they go so wrong because they don't have this foundation in Christ. In their mind, it's just submit, and I love myself and nobody else, but submit. It's no, that makes it really hard. So really, I don't even have much more to say about this, because if we sit here and break the video down, it's all going to be assumption based. Like, we can make assumptions about her and how she's acting and how she's not fulfilling her duties and blah, blah, blah. And we can make assumptions about him, like, well, his track record isn't really good. Like, past employees, there was that robot guy, the Dave, the Owen Benjamin had it out with him, I think. The not gay Jared. There's a lot. It's not good. So it does seem like he has some control issues, and he has a very type A personality and all of that. That does not mean someone is a monster. I'll say that again. And for the people that keep saying, oh, she's pregnant, why doesn't he just hire people to come do all this stuff? I don't, are you a princess? Because a lot of women, myself included, have worked, whether at home or out at a job, up until labor. Like, as long as you're a healthy person, which she looks very healthy and fit and stuff, you can get around and do things at 8-9 months pregnant. And you want to be. You want to be walking and doing things. You want to keep yourself that way. And then it helps bring on labor and all that. But anyway, that's besides the point. I just find it funny that everybody thinks at 8 months pregnant, you're supposed to be sitting there in bed all day. Unless you're on bed rest by, prescribed by a doctor, which she isn't. She's obviously going to the grocery store and whatnot. So yeah, they're both wrong in my opinion. She can blame it all on him, like, oh, I had to divorce him because he went and hired a divorce attorney and bought a townhouse. Like, we don't know why he did that, what you've been telling him. He didn't file for a divorce, though. And he's ensuring you have the house. Now, there's another thing. I thought I was about to end it. But this elective surgery he had, which I don't think is fair to call that elective, because it was like a connective tissue disorder, and he wasn't getting adequate blood flow, blah, blah, blah. Maybe that's true, maybe that isn't. Maybe it wasn't as big a deal as he made it seem. I don't know. The fact that was scheduled around the birth of the twins, I don't think anybody has noticed this. Like, if it was an elective thing where you could be like, well, let's wait a few more months, or, I don't know, why didn't he do this while she was pregnant? Maybe he was waiting for the surgery to be scheduled, and then they finally said it could be because this was during COVID. I don't know. But I would have held off. It just seems really selfish that you would do this exactly when the twins are coming, when she's going to need your help. She's going to need you physically there and helping. Yeah, that doesn't look right to me. So, like I said, I don't know. There could have been a lot more to that. He said he sees this as the biggest failure of his life, and I would have to agree, because as the man, the head of the home, the onus is on you to get order in your house. And obviously the way you were going about it was not working. He's going to have to humble himself. It seems like that's a hard one for him. He needs help with, like, he could have talked to Matt Walsh. I don't even think they're friends, but like, I look at guys like that seem like really good husbands. Like, they know what they're doing. They know they've been doing it long enough. Like, you talk to somebody, have some humility, and figure out what you need to be doing differently. And obviously you can't control it if your wife divorces you. But they could have separated. They could still remarry. If he were willing to do these things, and she's willing. They have to both be willing, obviously. I was thinking back to when my husband and I finally felt like we were fully on the same page and fully understood each other enough to not have stupid fights like this and butt heads like this. And I think it was after like a decade. So it was like they were together a long time, but it may have taken them a little bit longer, is what I'm saying. And you've got 2 children. Like, you should still be trying to figure this out. They need to be in the home with you. And there was a book, I think it was The Love Journal, something generic like that. It was from some Christian movie. I can't remember, but maybe I'll put it in the comments if I do. But basically, the instructions of what it was telling you to do every day and write in it every day is keep pouring more and more and more love into it. Because, of course, everybody knows this. Like, you don't run out of love. You just keep getting more the more you give out. So no matter how unappreciative, rude, disrespectful the other person is being, if you keep pouring love into it, eventually you're going to get the positivity back instead of negativity, which is hard because when somebody's giving you nothing but negativity, you just want to give that right back to them. Of course, more will come out about this, and it's nobody's business, but this is the way of the world now. So I think the best we can do is try to get everybody to understand that both could be wrong. It's nobody's business. And it used to be that when somebody leaked private conversations, which ironically he has done, or, video, stuff like that, those people were looked down upon. And now it's like, who's virtuous here, But y'all have a blessed day.